Now in the past we've talked about what reptiles make the best beginner pets, what reptiles make the most intermediate pets, and then finally, to close down this arc, the final chapter, the top 5 reptiles that make good pets for reptile... That's not it. No. Yes, today we are going to be going over the top 5 reptiles for expert level keepers. These are going to be reptiles where you are going to be needing to know what you are doing. These are cases where if you actually don't know what you're doing, they can be sometimes potentially dangerous, and all in all, you just probably won't have a good time if you're handling these reptiles or owning them without the experience behind it. With all that being said, I guess it's time to sit back, relax, dive into some expert level reptiles, and roll the intro. Kicking off this list, we're going to be starting with probably the most obvious choice, and that's going to be number 5, large constrictors. Now when we talk about large constrictors, we are not talking about your average snake. None of these ball pythons, corn snakes, boas, nothing like that. No, we talk about large constrictors. We're talking about the big boys, the reticulated pythons, the southern rock pythons, Burmese pythons. The big long noodles that have a big not fun bite. Now in all seriousness, I do believe these snakes should be kept only by people that have a pretty wide range of experience when we're talking about not just snakes, but I do believe in large constrictors themselves. You know, you only reticulated python is its own fucking league, man. You can't just be going willy-nilly, you know, haven't owned a reptile in your life and then all of a sudden you're like, yep, the 15 to 20 foot snake, I'll take one, please. It's just on a good look, man. It's not gonna work out for you. Believe me, you show me one person, never owned a reptile in their life, gets a reticulated python, gets a rock python, everything's fine, just the whole time. A couple of years after owning, everything's okay. I'm gonna call BS on it if you did say that. Of course, the majority of these snakes spanning in the 14 foot plus range, it is no wonder why you should have a vast amount of experience before attempting to own any of these pythons and or... No, they are all pythons. Then you have these snakes being able to inflict... These are just snakes. These are just snakes. They're fucking snakes. They're snakes. They're fucking snakes. They're snakes. Okay, I'm calm now. With these kinds of snakes, you're gonna wanna know exactly what you're doing. You're gonna wanna understand the body language of the animal, take the proper precautions when handling said animal. With any of these things, one miscalculation, one wrong move, that could land you right in the ER, which is really not fun for the animal, not fun for you, and really not fun in the reptile hobby. Just gives them bad press, which is what that's the real concern here. Not you, but the hobby. But moving on, let's get into a reptile that made this list for a pretty much different reason. That's going to be number 4, the chameleon. Of course, the chameleon didn't make this list for its impressive bite sending you to the ER. I actually don't think I've ever been bitten by a chameleon that even broke skin. Their bites really just wimpy, bad, trash bites in my opinion. So I decided to put the chameleon on this list for a different reason entirely, and that's going to be the sensitivity of the animal and the complicated care that they require. If we get down right to it, chameleons are just difficult animals to take care of, and you look at a chameleon the wrong way and then boom, it's... Can't say the real word because, you know, YouTube policies. Chameleons are going to be one of the more difficult reptiles to take care of course, needing a wide range of care. Of course, the basking light, having proper UVB, the proper length of going through UVB. Of course, many branches, live plants are usually, I wouldn't say so much of a necessity, but pretty close to a necessity. Of course, a misting system, a watering thing. Of course, not being able to see standing water, you're going to need some sort of drip system, some sort of filtered water system, or a misting system. However, you're going to get that hydration into the chameleon. It's not going to be just by a water bowl, because you know what I say. If it's chameleons, it's not simple. And let's just be real for a second. What kind of paradox animal needs a screen enclosure but humidity at the same time? Really, chameleons? Really? While these guys are definitely absolutely stunning with brilliant colorations and probably one of the coolest reptiles you can own, definitely not for everyone. You should definitely have the experience behind yourself before attempting to own a chameleon. But enough about reptiles that are difficult to care for. Let's get into the next topic, which is going to be number 3, the Nile Monitor. Nile Monitor is what I meant to say. The Nile Monitor, probably the #1 pet monitor you're gonna find for sale. These things are everywhere. Petco's, PetSmarts, most pet stores, Reptile Expos, Nile Monitor, Nile Monitor, Nile Monitor. For the crisp price of one $20 bill, you yourself can get into a lizard that is going to get 6 feet in length, get a pretty good weight on it, and be one of the nastiest monitors you will ever own. In my opinion, don't leave a nasty comment. While being probably the most popular pet that is for sale, while also being one of the cheapest, it is also probably one of the most animals that are either killed by their first year of ownership or just let go, put out in the wild, or just removed because, well, people just can't take care of them. A monitor is a tough animal to take care of, man. You got an animal that is going to get over 6 feet in length, weigh a pretty good size. I mean, a 6-foot lizard, pretty chonky boy, with an attitude that is just, well, how do I put this? A dick. Nile monitors, man, they're just dicks. Nile monitor is definitely something you're gonna want to have experience in reptiles before getting. Not only these guys get massive, needing a massive enclosure, a pretty massive amount of food. Of course, 6-foot lizard, that means a hell of a lot of food. Not only that, you're gonna want to understand the body language of the monitor. You're gonna understand how to tame monitors correctly. So this isn't gonna be one of those things where we stick it in a bathtub and it's tamed. It doesn't work like that. If that's the mindset you're going into, is I'm gonna put the Nile monitor in the tub method, and boom, my Nile monitor is tamed. Don't believe those videos. Those are just cold monitors. That's all it is. You put any lizard in 60-degree water and it doesn't move, that doesn't mean it's tame. It means it's cold. Without understanding the proper body language of the monitor or any adept skills into taming this animal down, you're gonna have an animal that is not fun as a pet and just an animal that you're not gonna have a good time with. I mean, bites from an Nile monitor, they're not fun. It's not a fun bite at all, especially when you're talking about an animal, again, 6 feet. Big weight. I don't know the weight, which is why I keep referencing to big weight. The bite sucks. The Nile monitors, unless you really know what you're doing, they suck as a pet. Of course, that $20 price tag, for some reason, for a bunch of people, is a really incentive to get the animal. However, don't do it. If you don't got the proper experience, just don't do it. But moving on, let's get into some more animals that have difficulty in the care aspect rather than the danger aspect. And that's going to bring us to #2, the poison dart frog. Of course, for this instance, we are using the poison dart frog as an umbrella term. There's a wide range of species, some being a little bit more easier to take care of, while others being a little bit more difficult. However, all of them are going to fall in the umbrella of the dart frog. And with that being said, dart frogs, man, they're not easy animals to take care of. They definitely are super sensitive, actually being one of the first species, or first reptile / amphibian, I lump them together sometimes, that actually people started using bioactive, or what was found to be almost a necessity into pertaining keeping these guys in captivity. Of course, these guys, you know, we were keeping them just as we kept everything, you know, paper towels or just some weird substrate, and they kept going. They just weren't doing well. We weren't having a high survival rate with the dart frogs until we started using that bioactive method, those plaintive vivariums, in which, in this case, we started getting them going a little bit better. Oh, hey, these fine guys actually live more than like 2 weeks than how we were keeping them for. So, a fun tidbit, dart frogs are the reason why bioactive enclosures became a thing. So not only are you going to need experience with the dart frog and understanding its husbandry, you're also going to need a basic understanding and experience in bioactive and plaintive vivarium enclosures. That's a 2-for-1 right there. 2 pain in the butts for 1 animal. The poison dart frog, of course, they are a beautiful animal. They come in a variety of different sizes and colors. I think the bumblebees are my absolute favorite. Maybe the blue ones, but the bumblebees are wicked cool. I like their call. They're a really awesome creature, but definitely a very sensitive animal. Definitely an animal you're gonna want a lot of education on and a lot of experience under your belt before getting the poison dart frog, because, man, these guys, if you don't do it right, you just aren't gonna have a good time with them. Alrighty, folks, coming down on this list, we are going to be talking about the last animal, of course, probably the most obvious, the animal or the reptile that is in everyone's expert list. It's the most notorious. Here we go, #1, the Crocodile Monitor. The Crocodile Monitor, man. The Ferrari of monitor lizards. The epiphany of the most dream-petted animal in the reptile kingdom. Yes, Crocodile Monitors are at the top of everyone's list. However, there are probably only a few that should take on the challenge that is the Crocodile Monitor. Of course, the Crocodile Monitor being the longest monitor lizard in captivity. Stop spamming in the comments that Komodo is it. It's not. We're talking about captive animals here. These guys are just giant, coming at a length of around 7 to 10 feet, man. A 10-foot monitor lizard. That definitely is not a pet for everyone. Of course, not only are these guys being at the size they are and the longevity that they are, of course, these guys are also arboreal, also known as the tree crocodile monitor. You're gonna have not only a wicked long space, a wicked wide space, you're also gonna need a super tall cage as well. This spans what pretty much this entire set is. I think this entire room would probably be okay with the monitor lizard, or the crocodile monitor. Actually, you know what? This actually might be a little small for the crocodile monitor. Crocodile monitors need giant enclosures, man. It's definitely not something the average keeper can pertain to. Most people's reptile rooms are actually too small for just one crocodile monitor. So keep that in mind if you just have a spare, oh, I don't know, $2,500, $5,000 laying around and you're thinking, well, I'm gonna get a crocodile monitor. You might wanna invest some of that in a spare unit inside your house in order to actually house them. Or I guess if you're one of those Florida people, you could just cop out and build out. So, oh wait. Ooh, too soon? Is it too soon? Not only do you need to be an expert carpenter and construction purser to make the actual enclosure size that the Crocodile Monitor needs, you're also going to be needing to deal with the attitude of the Crocodile Monitor. Of course, with very little captive breeding happening around the world with these guys, most of them are going to be imports. And you know, with most imports, it's okay. You know, you import some red-eye croc skinks, not a big deal. You import a Crocodile Monitor and, it's kind of a big deal. Not sure if I need to reiterate this again, but a 7-foot animal with a shy, reclusive, and defensive personality, not to mention those lovely serrated teeth, and of course the whatever's in their saliva that acts as a blood thinner to you, that is a bite, folks. That is not fun. Of course, it made my top 5 worst bites video. Man. Getting bit by a crocodile monitor, that just does not sound like a good time. No, while the crocodile monitor is of course one of the most impressive and beautiful animals out of all the monitor lizards, I think it should really stay in most people's dream list and not become a reality, because this is not an animal for everyone. I think it's for only the most dedicated people that have the biggest passion for the monitor lizard species. Folks, there you have it, another top 5 video. This one is really trash. I can't speak today, I'm so sorry. Why don't you give me a comment in the comment section of how trash I am in talking. I'm sure that's already happening, but I figured I would just add it in myself. And of course, if you haven't gotten enough of this top 5 video goodness, we got a great playlist right here with a multitude of different videos. We got another awesome video. I still can't do it. We got some cool videos right here. The subscribe button's right here. I gotta leave, man. This is not the day for me to film. Animals are going crazy. It's humid in here. I am hot. All right, I'm gonna see you guys later. We'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully it's a better day. Goodbye.